Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out IGGM for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA. What's up, y'all? For this video, we're going to be going over the 4411, specifically the second variant, which I had a lot of fun with. At first, I didn't really have much fun with this formation. I kind of thought it kind of sucked. I wasn't really a fan of how it was structured on paper, but nah, this formation is actually really good. To kind of spoil what these custom tactics really offer, we're really just copying the 442 and what makes a 442 good, but this time we're going to have a center forward instead of another striker, if that makes sense. So if you're a person that likes the 442 or even the 4231, these custom tactics are going to be good for you as well. Don't mind my squad, as you can see right here. I kind of had some luckier player picks for Ultimate Team this season, to say the least. Yeah, my bench is kind of stacks now. Don't know what to do with all these players, but this isn't the squad that I used. I used a different squad for Weekend League. Just gotta grab it real quick. And it would be this one right here, which is a little bit weaker, to say the least, but this is what I use for Weekend League. Going straight to custom tactics. I have it set to my defensive with a balanced defensive style, 42 width, 69 depth. I'm gonna be honest, the game's not sophisticated enough in custom tactics for defense for me to really explain what's going on here. These are just the meta combinations. Any custom tactic is going to use this, whether it has a 3 at the back, a 5 at the back, it doesn't matter the formation. More or less, you're going to see a width between like 35 to 45 more often than not, and you're going to see a depth between 60 to 70. I don't think anyone uses 71 depth anymore, to be honest. I don't think it's even good anymore. But that's that. Going straight to offense, which is where it actually gets interesting. You're using balanced with chance creation possession. I've been having a lot of fun not using direct passing anymore. I've said this in previous videos, but it allows you to have more control of your players on the pitch. And what I mean by that is, with direct passing, the reason why it's so good is because the AI basically does the work for you. But the only issue is that if you're playing in a game where the servers aren't really favoring you, or the AI is just for whatever reason not performing the way they normally perform, then you're going to realize direct passing is just going to feel like you're not making any progress, you're not creating chances, none of that's really occurring. With possession, you're basically allowing the AI to make runs that you've developed yourself, if that makes sense. So there's no forced runs or anything like that. Whenever you pass the ball around and you make good movements with the ball is when runs will be automatically triggered. So if you're a player that loves to dribble and pass, then you'll be creating chances left and right with this formation. And then a width of 65, which sounds confusing or it sounds weird, but primarily why we're using 65 is because that center forward that you're going to see that's under the striker, we're enabling them to play as a number 10. Think of someone like, I don't know, like Messi at Inter Miami right now. Someone that's just really all over the pitch, and with 65 width, we're enabling that player in specific to be anywhere in the final third instead of being constrained down the middle. So your number 10 is obviously going to be like a free-form attacking midfielder that's just going to be everywhere. So if you have a really good player like, I don't know, like Team this season Dybala or something like that, a player that's just really good in any position in the attack, then you can go ahead and step him at that number 10 position. 6 players in the box, which is classic for my formations. I love 6 players in the box because it's always going to give you a lot of options when you get to the final third. And then corners and free kicks, like always, is completely self-explanatory. And I say that because it's always going to be your choice. Obviously they never affect the custom tactics, so just do as you want. Like I say, I always put 3 because I can pass it short or I can send it into the box. You always have that perfect balance. Obviously based on context, but that's your case. And then going straight to player instructions, we're going to start with our striker up front. Bounce with, get in behind, stay forward. This guy's just a classic number 9. If you have a player like Joselu, or if you have Drogba, Sorloth, any of those type of attackers, strikers that are just really big, they have aerial plus, those are going to be meta regardless of any formation you use. So if you have that player, go ahead and step him right here at striker. This formation creates a lot of crossing chances, so if you love to take advantage of your crosses, go ahead and absolutely utilize one of these players. And then the center forward, which is the fun part of this formation, you can have him on stay forward, get into the box for cross, drift wide. And like I said earlier, we want this player to be anywhere in the attack based on where the ball might be. So obviously if the ball's on the left side of the pitch by the fullback, then this player is going to come all the way over to receive the ball to their feet. And then, from there he can receive the ball and then you can just do whatever from there. But the objective for this player is to remain open at all times possible. So they're always going to be an option. And then obviously they get into the box for cross is pretty self-explanatory because we don't want the striker to be alone by themselves up front. You can have your left winger right here, who's going to be on balanced defensive support, cut inside, get into the box for cross. Normally you want to use cut inside, getting behind for custom tactics like these, but we don't want to do that primarily because, like I said, the whole idea behind using the possession chance creation is that we only want runs to occur when it's actually time for them to occur. And the problem with using things like direct passing or using getting behind tactics is because you're just forcing runs when you're not actually able to make those passes, if that makes sense. For example, if you make a pass and go, then obviously that's going to be a good situation for you to make that through ball. But if you're just forcing your players to run in behind over and over and over again, you're going to realize that you're not going to have passes to make, in front of you. And when your players are just running ahead of you, then you're just going to be struggling to progress the ball. You're going to be forcing passes that go incomplete. It can get annoying. So just using cut inside with balance allows you to basically only see their runs, or obviously for them to only make runs when you're in the situation to actually, give them a good ball, if that makes sense. We don't use comeback in defense because they're already going to come back on defense. If you just enable it even more, I don't know, I have too much pride for that. If you want to retain the 4-4-2 structure, it's going to be retained regardless, but if you want to be absolutely sure, you can just absolutely slap both the wingers. I'll get to the other wing in a second, but you can slap both the wingers on comeback on defense. But I have too much pride for that. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, the other winger is going to be on the same exact instructions as well. You can have them on cut inside, get into the box or cross. Exact same thing is going to be going on this side as well. And then your double pivot midfield, I use this combination in almost any single center midfield that has two midfielders exactly. One midfielder is going to be on stay back while attacking, cover center, and the other one is going to be on balance attack, get into the box for cross, cover center. Now we use balance because we only want them to make a run when it's time. Also, so it's always like a surprise factor when they do make that run. That way the other team doesn't predict it when it happens. So they'll make a run whenever you've made movements in the final third that drag center backs out of space, and then boom, you just see the center mid bomb into the box. And that's why we also have get into the box or cross. That way they make deep runs when they actually do run, instead of just coming to the edge of the box and stopping there, which can be annoying, especially when there's space for them to run. And then obviously if your other midfielder right here, just a classic CDM, nothing much more to be said. They're going to be on stay back while attacking, cover center, so they're not going to be doing anything crazy. Like typical, you just want good defensive stats here, good pace, good dribbling as well, so they're not clunky when they do receive the ball. Good strength, so they can, win the ball pretty easily. Tall players would be really ideal, but it's not a huge loss if we can't get someone tall, but yeah. And then your right back and your left back are both going to be on completely default. And I know this is really interesting because that's not something that you normally see. I know the meta always has, both of them on stay back while attacking, or both on overlap or things like that. And I know there's also people that might think that, oh shoot, like that's just going to be too much attacking going forward. It's going to leave you at risk for the counterattack, and you guys need to try it for yourself, because I'm going to be really honest, having them on completely default is completely usable. You're not at risk at counterattacks with most custom tactics. I feel like it's a huge misconception that you can't have attacking fullbacks without being at risk to the counterattack. You can have two attacking fullbacks, especially if you love, being able to switch the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. And then not leaving them on overlap is also really useful, because since your wingers are going to be cutting inside and entering the box, unless you're a player that just spams cutbacks, then having them on mixed attack for the run type is going to allow them to also get in the box as well, instead of just hugging the touchline. If you're not a person that normally plays with attacking fullbacks, please give it a shot, because trust me, you'll absolutely love it if you do. And if you don't, no worries. You can use this formation with stay back while attacking. Quite frankly, when it comes to custom tactics, you can do whatever you want on the fullbacks. More often than not, just really depends on the custom tactics and how they're structured to attack. Because obviously some custom tactics are going to be reliant on the fullbacks to generate attacks, but for most of mine, that's not the case. I just love being able to overload the other team's the other team's box with, attacking options, and having attacking fullbacks, especially now that we're at the point of the game where our attacking fullbacks have really good stats, then it won't be an issue. And then obviously your two center backs are going to be on stay back while attacking. I'm really curious. I should probably try, join the attack one day on one of these. I want to see if I can make something meta with that. Probably not. But then yeah, your keeper is going to be on comes across a sweeper keeper. I'm so serious. I don't know if this does anything, because I feel like I've never seen a difference, but we're just going to have it on just in case it does. But I feel like this is completely placebo, because I don't know a gameplay difference on this, to be honest. But yeah, that's the player instructions. To be honest, these custom tactics are pretty old. I made these like almost a month ago now. I just completely forgot to release these. But other than that, I have a 4-5-1, the second variant that I've been building lately that is really good. But it's going to take me some time because I'm still editing it a little bit. Quite frankly, it's going to be like one of the custom tactics that I spent the most this year trying to make, because I'm actually cooking up something crazy right now. And then I also have a 4-3-3-5 with the false 9 that I plan to release this week or next week, we'll see. It was made by someone from our Discord server. So if you want to get, like the early access to it or whatever, you can find it in our Discord server with the link in the description. And yeah, they're not my custom tactics. a member from my server created them and they were really good. I used them for my weekend leagues and I had so much fun with them, to be honest. They're better than any of the previous 4-3-3-5s that I've ever made. So if you're around back, I think it was 2023 where, I was making 4-3-3-5s. I've said that the 4-3-3-5 is my favorite formation in the game. This guy's made a better custom tactic for the 4-3-3-5 than I ever could. So props to him. We'll go over that in the future video, but I don't want to spoil it with this one. But obviously, if you guys want to see it ahead of time, then you can see it in our tactics channel on our Discord. But other than that, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. That's all for today.